Good day everyone, I am Rosal G. Solibas and I'm glad that you came at this point, which is the last topic of Unit 4. But before I start my discussion, if you haven't watched the discussion of Miss Jonalyn Ragudo, I encourage you all to watch first her discussion because my discussion or this video serve as the continuation of her discussion. So after you watch her discussion, please come back to this video so that you learn something about curriculum localization since this is the last part of the discussion. Objectives. At the end of this lesson, the students are expected to explain the significance curriculum localization in the development of a curriculum, relate the importance of curriculum localization in the field of education as a pre-service teacher, and recognize the challenges and solutions in implementing curriculum localization. So before we formally begin my discussion, let's have first a recap about the discussion of Ms. Ragudo. So according to Meta Phrases 2023, localization adapts content to align with local educational standards, making the learning experience more effective and relevant. This means that the learning program can change its contents to match the specific learning rules of a certain place. So the next one is curriculum. It refers to the lessons and academic content taught in a school or in a specific course or program. Think of it like a menu at a restaurant. The curriculum is the list of all the subjects and topics that are on the menu for the students to learn. So curriculum localization is the process of relating content specified in the curriculum to local information and materials in the learner's community. This means that curriculum localization involves adapting curriculum content to include local information and materials from learners' community, making the materials more engaging and relevant for students. Let's continue the discussion, and the first discussion is all about the steps involved in the curriculum localization. The first step is to identify the needs of the local learners. Is it important to identify the needs of the local learners? Yes. Identifying the needs of each learner is very important because we can design or make strategies that will cater the diverse needs of the students without discrimination. Also, we can design activities that will suit their capabilities and skills. The second step is to research the local culture and educational system. In a certain locality where some topics or a certain words is called or considered taboo, curriculum could be or can be modified to avoid these sensitive areas, ensuring respect for local values. Third step is to select or develop curriculum content that is relevant and appropriate for the local learners. As a future educator, before the teacher will deliver his or her content in the classroom, it is important to know or check the content if it is appropriate on that or in that certain location. The fourth step is to develop or adopt instructional materials that are appropriate for the local learners. So the fourth step is all about choosing and creating appropriate learning materials that are interesting and useful for the students, specifically the local learners. The fifth step is to develop or adopt assessments that are appropriate for the local learners. Creating and choosing the right assessment is very important so that it can effectively or accurately measure what the students have learned. Solely relying on one assessment throughout the course cannot be measure the right students' learning throughout the certain course or a specific topic or lesson. The last step is to implement the local curriculum and monitor its effectiveness. It involves observing students' engagement, and their learning outcomes. It also involves collecting feedback from the teacher, parents, and the students. Now let's move on to the challenges and their solutions. The four challenges are lack of competent staff, teachers' attitudes and possible resistance, fear of unknown, and lack of resources. These four challenges are some challenge of curriculum localization. It may be because or it occur because of insufficient funding and materials, technology advancement, um, lack of workshop for the teachers, and being comfortable of traditional teaching styles. So how can we possibly solve these four challenges? So now let's move on, or I will introduce to you the four possible solutions for these four challenges. The first step is to develop curriculum framework that includes a set of curriculum standard at the central level. This means creating a guide for the teachers on what the students should learn. The second solution is to ensure the compliance with these standards in local and school developed curriculum, either through paper based accreditation or endorsement processes, or through supervision and monitoring processes, or both. So the second solution involves checking if the local schools are still sticking to the set of educational goals. This can be done by reviewing their work on paper or by visiting or observing their teaching methods, or can be both. The third solution is to provide training to local and school-based curriculum developers and ensuring clear and open communication exists between central and localized authorities. This means that the central authority offers workshops to the teachers, especially those who are local teachers, and to train them to how to use effectively the curriculum localization. And the last solution is when embarking on a process of localization, educators at all levels in the educational systems are required to adopt additional responsibilities, new roles, and perform the same tasks in a different ways. So the fourth and last solution means that the teacher will need to learn new methods to incorporate local examples in the lesson. And now let's move on to the last topic, which is all about reminders on localization. The first reminder is localization maximizes the use of available materials. The second reminder is to localize, the teacher must use authentic materials and anchor teaching on the context of learners' lives. The third one is the teacher should encourage students to pose problems and issues and use strategies to address these. The localized curriculum is based on local needs and relevance for the learners, thus allowing its flexibility and creativity in the lesson. Teachers must build on what resources the school have, and teachers must accommodate the respect to cultural, linguistics, and racial diversity. Curriculum localization is very important because it makes use of available resources and it makes the learning more relevant by using authentic materials and relate or connect it to the learners' lives. Overall, curriculum localization is a very valuable tool in ensuring that all learners, especially those local learners, have access to high and quality education. But I have another reminder. We have to put in our mind that not all lessons, especially in Araling Panlipunan or social studies, can be localized. Yes, It is true that sometimes we can understand more the context by relating them to the ideas that we can easily comprehend, appreciate, and relate in our lives. But the standards of quality and relevant education should be considered at all times and should not be compromised just for the sake of localized lesson. Yes, this is the end of our discussion about curriculum localization under Unit 4. And I hope that you learned something from me that you can use in a real life setting. So I guess it's a goodbye. Thank you for listening. Bye.